This neighborhood behind me was built in 2017. I spent $230,000 for a unit but can't sell it for $80,000. It's located next to the 5-ring road with convenient transportation. That was the main reason I bought it. But now it can't be sold despite the reduced price. What's happening in Shenzhen is more terrible than the plummeting prices. At present, it's not a question of whether to reduce the price, but whether there is anyone to buy the house at the reduced price. Although the houses in Shenzhen have been reduced again and again, the down payment and mortgage rates are reduced as well. Homes still don't sell. For example, the property behind me, which was originally priced at $5,504 per square meter, has now dropped to $2,760. Moreover, it's newly renovated. There is a subway station right in the front. The district has its own commercial complex, and most importantly, the home price is cheap. For only $30,000 to $50,000, you can buy a 69 square meter 2-bedroom flat, and the monthly payment is only about $700. But there is no one to buy it. Recently, after first-tier cities such as Beijing and Shenzhen launched several policies to stimulate the real estate market, the official media claim that the housing market has started to warm up. However, many industry insiders and second-hand homeowners say it's still difficult to sell or rent out a home, and the market conditions haven't improved much. This is what a real estate agent has to say. Beijing's houses are too difficult to sell. Today I got a large order, a new development in Beijing with a starting price of $1.8 million per unit. In April, the developer offered to reduce the price to $1.5 million. I negotiated with the marketing director and reduced it to $1.33 million, but the final bid from the customer was $1.29 million. It has pissed off the marketing director. The real estate agent suspects that the market is now stuck in a dead cycle. The developer feels that the customer has broken its bottom line, so it won't sell. But the customer feels that since there are so few people buying homes, why not drop the price? The daily turnover of second-hand properties in Beijing is between 300 and 400 units, and those that are sold are from people who are desperate for money and those who are about to default on their mortgage payments. They have lowered the price of their homes so much. Only under these extreme conditions can they sell their homes. The Taiwan Central News Agency reported the story of Miss Huang, a Beijing native who was nearly 50 years old and used to work for large Chinese companies such as Alibaba. She bought a home in Langfang, Hebei province, about 40 kilometers from downtown Beijing in 2017. The total price was about $280,000 and it was a pre-sale type of home, so she had to pay over $700 per month for the mortgage before it was built. She hoped to sell it for a profit when prices rose or rent it out to increase her old age security. However, China's real estate market soon changed dramatically. In just a few years, prices fell again and again, and in the end, even if the flat was put on sale at a loss, no one was interested. Ms. Huang says that the amenities promised by the developer haven't been fully built, which, coupled with the dramatic changes in the housing market over the last 2 years, has made it impossible to sell or rent out her property. It has been sitting idle for a while. Ms. Huang now needs to continue to pay the mortgage every month. If she can't pay the mortgage, the home would be put up for auction and she would be put on the bad credit list, restricting her from high spending, taking flights or high-speed rail. It would be very inconvenient for her as she needs to travel often. She said helplessly that the owners of the rotten-tailed buildings could still speak out to protest, while she could only wait silently in despair. Some analysts believe that in recent years, Beijing's housing market has hit a cold streak, and homes are becoming increasingly difficult to sell. The reason is that buyers' capital chain is broken. 10 years ago, many buyers rushed to buy a small 1 or 2 bedroom home with a down payment of several $100,000. A few years later, as their savings and wealth grew, they switched to bigger and more expensive homes, often in the range of $690,000 to $1.1 million. Those middle-class families were able to upgrade their homes as they accumulated wealth through entrepreneurship and other means. Now, however, the situation is very different. The root cause of Beijing's unsold housing stock is the financial deterioration of the middle class. According to a 2019 study released by Peking Normal University, there were 70 million people in China with an average monthly income of more than $700, which the media categorized as the middle class. This data led to optimistic expectations from large companies which plan to target the middle class in the consumer upgrade market. However, the reality has spun out of control of the authorities. Figures from China's Ministry of Finance show that from January to April 2024, personal income tax amounted to 69 billion, a year-on-year drop of 7%, while national personal income tax revenue from January to February amounted to 44.9 billion, a year-on-year drop of 15.9%. The decrease in personal income tax is concrete evidence that the wealth of the middle class is shrinking quickly. Moreover, various data show that the middle class group has not only failed to expand but also shown signs of shrinking. Consumption downgrading has become a trend. Since their incomes aren't what they used to be, the middle class doesn't dare to take the risk of buying real estate. They choose to wait and see what happens when the market picks up. In addition, in recent years, many business owners have seen their incomes drop. With the economy in bad shape, many of them have begun to liquidate their assets and sell their properties that are usually valued between 1.38 and 2.75 million. Those who once bought their homes at the peak of the economy for 1.1 to 1.24 million are now facing the pressure of being laid off from the large factories, thus choosing to live or retire in a second or third-tier city. These reasons have directly contributed to the downturn in Beijing's housing market. The same thing is happening in Shenzhen, China's major economic center, where housing prices are also falling again and again. How much has the price of housing in Shenzhen fallen? In 2020, when the epidemic hit, the house price in Shenzhen rose instead of fell, reaching a record high. However, in the first quarter of 2024, the price of second-hand housing in Shenzhen has fallen sharply. Luxury homes in the central area of Shenzhen have fallen to the bottom. The original price of 13,000 per square meter now sells for 4,700, plus free luxury decoration that's worth 2,100 per square meter, making the de facto price of only 2,800 per square meter. A netizen said bluntly it used to be whoever owned the most number of properties were the richest. But now in Shenzhen, whoever has the most properties is the biggest victim.
It seems that the property market in Shenzhen has changed overnight. It feels like that everyone is selling their homes. Many homeowners would rather lose their down payment. Now there are more than 100,000 second-hand properties for sale. That's almost 1 in 10 homeowners in Shenzhen who are selling their homes.
However, even if the price has been reduced significantly, homes can't be sold. The individual also said that now residents in Shenzhen have seen the equity in their homes shrink. Many have stopped making their mortgage payments. They have given up on their homes, losing the down payment and the payments made before. It has led to several foreclosed homes in many neighborhoods in Shenzhen every month. Some people and their families have been ruined outright. The housing market in Shenzhen is deteriorating indeed. More and more homeowners are forced to stop their mortgage payments and sell their properties. A netizen who bought a 71 square meter home in Shenzhen's Nanshan district 5 years ago for 9,630 a square meter, which cost 680,000 at the time, is now selling it at a significant loss. I bought a home back then. It was when housing prices were rising. If the trend continued, the homes would only be more expensive. But I sold it at 6,743 per square meter, losing 210,000 in principal, or 30%, equivalent to a loss of 2/3. This homeowner said the main reason for selling is that he and his wife became unemployed and are pressured by the mortgage payments. They have 2 children and aging parents. The family's monthly expenses amount to over 30,000, so they must sell their home to alleviate the pressure. He also knows a homeowner in the same neighborhood who bought 5 or 6 homes in one go years ago. He was a rich man, but now he's trapped. Another businessman in Shenzhen bought a flat for 450,000 in 2017. Now he tries to sell it at 180,000, but no one is interested. He put down 140,000 as a down payment with a mortgage of 310,000 and an interest rate of 5.8%. His monthly repayment is about $2,065. When business was good, the monthly repayment wasn't too much of a burden. But the epidemic of 2019 has made his business deteriorate sharply. Gradually, he couldn't afford the monthly payment, and he and his wife had to scrape together money every month to make the payment. His wife decided that it was too hard to live this way and decided to sell the home. However, when they went to list it, they found that the price had dropped by 50% and was only worth about $230,000. They paid off nearly $140,000 over the years, with $240,000 left on the mortgage. They listed the home for sale, but after a few months, not a single person came to see it. The agent advised them to lower the price to $200,000, otherwise no one would buy it. The couple were devastated and felt that all their hard work over the years had been for nothing, so they finally decided to stop paying the mortgage and put the home up for auction. According to data released by the China Index Academy, in the first quarter of 2024, the number of properties listed for auction in the national foreclosure market reached 219,000, and 38,000 were sold. In January alone, 100,400 properties were listed for auction, a year-on-year increase of 48.2%, and the number of transactions increased by 18.3% year-on-year. The public is concerned about the huge increase in the number of foreclosed properties, with the increase far exceeding the number of sold properties, which is a dangerous signal that a financial systemic risk is forming. At present, the main force in China's mortgage market is young people born in the 1990s. They purchased real estate at the peak of real estate prices and are now in the front line of unemployment pressure. Experts warn that society should not overestimate these young people's capacity for carrying debts and their ability to withstand the psychological impact of falling housing prices. The wave of paying up mortgages early that happened in the first half of 2023 means that quality borrowers with financial means have already repaid their loans early, and the remaining debt risk requires special attention. But recently, the Shenzhen authorities responded to public inquiries that they would not adjust the mortgage interest rate on housing stock. Data from the central bank showed that personal mortgages at the end of 2023 was 5.3 trillion, accounting for 16% of the overall loan balance. This kind of loan, which has a significant effect on people's livelihood, contains both financial risks and extensive unpredictable social risks. If the real estate rescue efforts by the government only takes into account the interests of local government finances, financial institutions, and real estate enterprises, and neglects the relief of mortgage debtors, it will not only fail to eliminate financial systemic risks, but may also cause risk spillover. To ease the pressure on the real estate sector, industry insiders disclosed that since the beginning of this year, provincial and municipal governments have handed over the task of promoting real estate to street offices or enterprises, but the market response has been lukewarm. Radio Free Asia reports that in Guangdong, some state-owned enterprises held a meeting of their middle management where leaders encouraged division-level cadres to voluntarily buy homes, and banks have lowered down payment loans to a maximum of 7.5%, aligned with the new government policy. But despite the favorable policy, people are more reluctant to buy houses. Recently, a street office in Qingdao, Shandong Province, requested talks with residents who have large deposits in their bank accounts but haven't bought a home. The sale of homes is said to be connected with their job performance. The move is believed to be an attempt to help the government out, but the market response hasn't changed much due to an oversupply of housing. Mr. Zhang, a Qingdao resident, told Free Asia that despite government subsidies for new homes, people don't have a lot of money to spare, and worries about the economic outlook have made them more cautious. In addition, staff at the street office admitted that if they fail to meet the task of selling homes, the community will be deducted ranking points and the community staff may be penalized financially. However, these measures haven't helped the sluggish market, and housing prices continue to fall. The Chinese Communist Party's measures to rescue the property market have failed, and the strategy of forcing the rich to buy homes has failed to achieve the desired results. Many real estate companies are now in the red, but they are still trying to keep up their delivery schedule. Currently, China's real estate-related data has fallen more than average, but due to the peculiarities of the red regime, China has delayed a crisis that should have erupted. Some analysts believe that the CCP's peculiarity lies in the fact that a large number of real estate enterprises have gone bankrupt, but the government hasn't allowed them to announce their bankruptcy, so a crisis is being delayed. However, this doesn't solve the problem fundamentally and could lead to a sudden eruption of the crisis any time.